Endtime.Church, fully online everywhere. Live service every Monday. Online communion, prayer, worship, and Bible teaching. Live Q&A every Friday, a forum for you to ask the pastor anything. Get our free app at Endtime.App. Be the church 24/7. Ask us about baptism and becoming a member. How about a home ministry? We can help you. Courses, resources, music, and more. Find Endtime.Church. Welcome home.
Indeed, you have found the Endtime.Church. It's our Friday Q&A time. Welcome back. Welcome back to myself. I've returned from a much-needed vacation, and it was awesome. And actually, today starts a new phase of life in this house. My oldest son is 18 years old, and basketball season begins for him this afternoon. So hence the time shift. We normally do this around 4 p.m. Eastern, but now it's high noon, and we're doing it now. So it's depending on you guys. Please say hello, welcome. Please share this, especially on YouTube. We like likes and we love loves, but sharing is caring. We are brought to you by yourself. We have no other means to be a church online. We depend on your generosity to do that. And frankly, we're at the end of our rope. Next month, I don't know. We need prayer. Pray for us and help us. Endtime.Church/support would be very appreciated. And we have a free app. Maybe that's a mistake, but it's free. Endtime.App. Just type that in, and wherever you are, whatever device, mobile device, your phone or tablet, it'll work for you. So go get it and use it. Say hello, etc. Okay, so now the time is yours. I want to hear from you. It is driven by you and you alone. If you have no questions, we end the live stream, and that's that. We did have two. By the way, if it is your first time and you want to ask something, please don't be afraid. Please, I'm really pretty nice dude. As long as you're not mean or swear or something like that, every question is fine. Literally anything. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen here. First time questioners get Flee to the Mountains free on PDF. Just let me know your email address by emailing me. What's Flee to the Mountains? It's the book I wrote 2019 already, several years ago. It's about end time prophecy, about Israel, about the church's role in the end times. All right, speaking of that, by the way, first question, we've got two that had come in before we went on today, one during the week, last week, or a couple days ago, and then one just this morning. Let's get to those first, but I want to hear from you. Please, wherever you're watching, X, love my X peeps, Instagram, Facebook even, YouTube, or wherever else, please just go ahead and ask right now. Okay. Okay. So on that end times church stuff, or question about the church in the end times, a big to do, as most Christians will believe in some type of rapture or some type of imminent, and this is the sticking point with it, is the belief that it's imminent. That it's imminent means at any moment. Could be today, could be right now, could be in 10 seconds, could be tomorrow, could be a week from now, could be 1,000 years from now. Something like that. That's imminent means nothing else has to occur first. It's the next thing up. It's the next thing. There's no other conditions have to be met. It could be today. Okay. That's what's incorrect about it. But many Christians don't care about that. They want to believe it could be any day, so they continue to believe it and hate those of us who say otherwise, even though we're Christians too, and we love the Bible, we love Jesus, and we just want to get it right. And we have the same Holy Spirit in us, but there's big fights that happen all the time. Anyway, my friend Brian, who gets lots of engagement on his stuff, posted this. And let me get your reaction if you have one. I see on many profiles such things as look up, quote unquote, look up. The rapture is imminent, etc., etc. People that say look up don't know that when Yeshua is saying, Yeshua, Jesus, the Messiah, is saying to look up, is he saying to look up now? No, he's not. Read Luke 21, verse 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, meaning the signs of the end, including this great tribulation that he describes, after that, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draws near. Anyways, go study Luke 21. And there's a whole bunch of hate comments that he's got, including anti-Semitic stuff. You name it, you're not saved, blah, blah, blah. And he did point out one in particular that he wanted me to address, which was from Joseph said, and I know this guy actually, unless it's a different person with the same name. I don't think so. I used to correspond with this guy, and he started not to agree with me, so he left town. I don't know. And here's why, because he became what you would call a preterist. He says, I believe Luke 21 was fulfilled in 70 AD. Okay, that's a sticking point for sure. People gets in lots of trouble to apply it in the future. Lots of trouble to apply in the future. That's in Flee to the Mountains, by the way. If you're interested in that book, and if you don't, you can buy it. Please help me out. But go to fleetothemountains.com and buy it. But you get a hardcover, softcover audio book narrated by me, or whatever, or PDF. Excuse me, PDF for $10. But I'll send you the PDF for free. Just ask a new question. You're a new questioner. I'll send it. This is the book here. I put Luke 21 in here specifically for that purpose, just to show I think very simply, that Jesus is just saying the same things he did in Mark 24 and Matthew 24 and Mark 13, which is very well known by Christian prophecy people. But for whatever reason, they're taught that Luke 21 isn't about the future, and that's inconsistent. All right, Jesus is being very consistent when he tells about what's going to happen in the future and about the times of his coming and what happens around that and what happens before, so we can see. That's the point of a sign. That is the reason why a sign exists, like on the highway, right? You see a highway sign telling you 10 miles, 10 miles to your exit. That's the purpose of the sign. You are here. New York City, 100 miles. That's what a sign is for. There's no purpose in a sign after the event. It would be like New York City, 10 miles behind you. What? That doesn't help. You had to tell me before that. So that's the sign, okay? So that's what the purpose of a sign is, and that's what Jesus is doing in Luke 21. So no, it is not in the past. A preterist believes that everything in the Bible is already fulfilled. Even if you take it to its logical conclusion, which is a very, very bad place to be, is that Jesus himself has already returned in the past, which is ridiculous. And frankly, it's more than ridiculous. It's heretical. You're not a Christian anymore if you believe Jesus returned in the past. What? Where is he? All right. So thank you, Bri, for that. That's question one. All right. Hopefully you did an awesome job, by the way, Bri. If you're listening, or if you're listening later, you are more than, your skills in the scripture are more than adequate to address these things. So you did great. All right. Hey, bond servant. Welcome to the T-Rex. What's up? And this is a point that needs to be made too. If folks really believe in an imminent rapture, in other words, it could be today or any time, they would be live more holy lives. That's a good point, isn't it? If you think you can see Jesus return in the clouds and take you to heaven, and for the final events of the world, why aren't you living in a holier way? Why are you cursing people out? Why are you dissing your brothers and sisters in Christ over it? Stupid. Go proclaim the gospel. Get more people in the kingdom. That's all you should be doing. Literally. Anyway. Okay. And then our sister T-Rex actually asked me this. If you want to rephrase it in another way, you can. But if not, I'm just going to read what you texted me. What do you think are the best theories behind this flap? This flap being the drone, mystery drones. My theories? I get in trouble with theories. I try not to have them. So if you've been under a rock the past almost 2 weeks now, or about 2 weeks, right? Friday, it's approximately when I leave for vacation, all this crap goes down, or it starts. By the way, I was looking. I was on a cruise. I was looking on the ocean in the Bermuda Triangle and this part of the Atlantic Ocean where things have been reported and seen and things are supposed to exist and so forth. So anyway, I don't have any great footage or whatever, but point is, ever since I left, basically, there's been an international flap is a good word because it's been used in history at various times when there have been basically UFO sightings like crazy. And it kind of takes on a life of its own because the powers that be, the government, the media, etc., can't control the story. They can't control the narrative, so it's out of their hands. It's in the public's hands, and that's the worst thing in the world. Well, when that happens, there's a psychology, event, like everyone starts to see things that they were never looking for before. A lot of folks will just all of a sudden start looking to the sky when they never did previously. So you're going to have a lot of stuff that is mundane and explainable and prosaic, or whatever word you want to use, that is not mysterious and that is not UFOs and not. It's just everyone's now looking, so all the numbers go up. The legitimate ones and the illegitimate, or the ones that are mistakes. And like everything else, this current 2-week period or whatever, it has it's full of the same ratio of legitimate versus not legitimate UFO sightings, or whatever you want to call them. They're unidentified, literally. This is like I've said literally like 3 times already. I'm sorry. But that's actually what it would be, right? We're saying officially from every source, we don't know what these drones are. We don't know where they're from. We can't track them. We can't bring them down, but there's no danger. Don't worry about it. What kind of garbage is that? Pick one. Either you know nothing about it, which means it could very well be a danger, or you know exactly what they are, and for some reason that leads you to believe that there's no danger. Well, you're lying one of those ways. Anyways, so there's a lot of stuff flying around, and now we've got lots and lots of videos. But again, like throughout the past 180, 80 years since I just started Roswell or whatever, the 40s, there was a flap in the late 1940s, after World War II, 1947, huge explosion of UFO sightings. And that's why the Roswell thing kind of blew up into the consciousness of the country, because we were all looking for them. We all thought they were legit. Something's happening. And oh my gosh, we got one. Okay. That was why people cared. And that's why in literally one day, the U.S. government clamped down and changed the story from, hey, we've got a flying saucer. Nope. None of that. We don't got none of that. And it's been that way ever since. So the point is, ever since then, when people are thinking about it and looking and maybe not sure what they're seeing and all that, the statistically, the ratios are very, very, very consistent year after year after year after year after year. Doesn't matter if we're in a flap or not. Basically, I mean, the range is somewhere between 10 and 25%. Some say it's as low as 6%. Some say it's as high as 30-some%. Let's say, for sake of argument, 10 to 20% of UFO sightings are not explainable. It's always been that way. No matter how old the technology is, if it's just people looking up in the sky or whatever, versus today, same ratios. We know more about science, or we know more about the universe. We know more about, natural phenomenon. Ratio has remained. Okay. So if you see videos on X that, or, your social that you can't really explain, the odds are 1 in 5 will be legitimate. Basically. And maybe even more so because people now are getting more savvy about learning their history about it and knowing what to look at and for the observables, the 5 observables. And I got into a little I didn't get into anything. I just decided to engage someone this morning when I was just pointing out there is one specific video that if you go to my X at Manti4, you'll see it. I posted the source video and just ask you to look at it and consider what it could mean. Pray. Because what you see on that video, if it's is what it looks like, and it seems like it is, because there's stars in the background that you can measure up against. It's what looks like. Actually, why don't I just share the video now? Not sure why I'm not. All right, let me try to share it now. La 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 na 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 na. Okay, here we go. Friends, watch this below carefully. Let me start over.
We shouldn't be out.
All right, ready? At first glance, this is it's a plane. And it's a video, so let me play it. Let's keep it there. It kind of looks like a plane with a lot of lights. In some very odd places, perhaps. Usually don't see these lights on a commercial. It looks like a commercial jet, like you get on it to go fly to another city. It doesn't look military. People have pointed out, oh yeah, this is the configuration of a 737 or whatever. Okay, fine. And the lights are whack. Okay, to me, they're crazy. It's not normal, but watch carefully now. Watch what it does. Why did it do that? Did you see what it did?
We shouldn't be outside for this.
You shouldn't be outside. I'm going to rewind it. Okay, it's headed one direction, right? And all of a sudden, boom, on a dime, it turns.
We shouldn't be outside.
No, you shouldn't be outside. You shouldn't be. I don't know, but you can rewind that and go find it on my account. But on my feed. Planes don't do that, friends. They can't do that. It's not possible. No size of a plane. By the way, that was very low. It was not high in the sky. The witnesses said it was very low. And it was not the size of a plane. It was not the size of a 737. Okay. Fine. You dismiss all that. You say that's all lies. Okay. Fine. You can dismiss that, whatever you want. You can dismiss the size, the altitude, the lights. Dismiss all that. What it did is one of the 5 observables. If you don't know what I mean, go read Lou Elizondo's book, Imminent. Crazy enough, the book is called Imminent. Now, this is a subject that may, in fact, be imminent. And that is some kind of show of force, show of superiority, show of showing off by our whatever is behind the UFO situation. Because what you just saw is not an airplane. If that turn actually happened, and some people say, "Oh, it's the camera turning," it didn't look like that. And then if you look carefully and you zoom in, or if you go it slow, or you make it brighter, you can see the stars in the background. There's lights behind it that can show you the turn. And there are people who know aviation way better than me, and I'm not a pilot, and I don't know all that stuff. But that's what freaked me out when I saw it. I was like, what just happened there? I've never seen a plane do that, because they can't. You can't. You're good. It's all kinds of physical laws says you can't do that. Not even a drone can do that. It has momentum. It's going forward. You can't just. And that looked like it was going pretty fast. I mean, I don't know exactly how fast, and I don't know exactly how high, but and I heard a jet-like sound. Maybe that was from that, and maybe it wasn't. But it wasn't pittering along like a drone would. Then it can kind of slow down and make a soft turn. This freaking thing went right, the whole body without banking. You know what? You've seen a plane make a turn. I don't care what kind of plane it is. A 747, 737, a fighter jet, any drone, anything. Right? It takes a minute, and you got to go like this. You got to bank into it. Right? It kind of gets sideways. Not stay like this and turn like that. Okay. Not possible. Anyway, that happened. And that might go down. I mean, if more info comes out on it, but this might go down as an all-time UFO evidence. But it looks like a plane. That's the scary part. Okay. Or that's a whole nother issue. And if you look into this, if you do your research, if you read your history, just read the history of this topic. And look into writers who have written so interviewed so many witnesses and gone through so much evidence. And John Keel, and to the, he's not really the nuts and bolts guy. He's more of the phenomenon aspect of it, and playing with your mind, basically. And people like him. He's not the only one, but people like him have shown, and people have documented to him that UFOs over the years, not just one time or recently, can look like and change shape to hide themselves, to look like aircraft that are common in the sky already. Whether it be helicopters, whether it be old style planes, whether it be blimps. Okay, people have said all this for years and years and years, and it sounds crazy. A little schizophrenic, maybe. Like everything you can see is a potential UFO. Okay, I get it. That's not cool, but these observables are what sets it apart. It's not just, well, I think I saw this, or, well, that could have been that. Well, there are things you can perceive and observe with your eyeballs that you can say, that is not right. Okay, that is not normal. That is not human technology. That's either an illusion, I'm making this up in my head, or that's something else. Well, you just saw a video potentially that looks like that. And one of those 5 observables is these crazy maneuvers, extreme maneuverability. And there you go. So getting back to the point of the heck was T-Rex asking, my best theories behind it. I got nothing on that other than whatever it is. And you might have, Ross Coulthard has pointed this out, and Nick Pope has pointed this out, and Chris Sharp have pointed this out. By the way, all not Americans. For those of you who think this is an American thing. they've all pointed out that it's probably now, since it's getting traction, many things will be true. Like, yeah, you'll see airplanes up there. Yes, you'll see drones up there, regular from Best Buy, Amazon, Walmart, commercial drones. You might see professional drones that put on light shows. You might see military drones. We have military drones, for example, and but it gets annoying when people will automatically go to, oh, that's what that is. Oh yeah, it's obviously us. It's obviously American tech. But then the next guy will say it's obviously just a plane. And the next guy will say it's obviously just a hobbyist. On the same picture. There's massive confusion. Okay, now this is where it gets biblical. Is that how do we know when we're being deceived? The thing that, again, scripturally speaking, God speaking, prophetically, right, future end time stuff, is we are told very simply that the great end time deception, okay, many millions will be deceived. The whole earth, it says, will be deceived because of miraculous events or things that humans cannot explain, things that seem like miracles. Now, I'm not saying what you just saw is one of those things, but it does fall into the, am I being is this a deception of some kind? Okay, well, I'll tell you for sure what is the deception. I mean, like, you really saw it turn, okay? The actual deception, it for sure is happening at the governmental level and the media level. The media is not, I mean, they might just be putting their toe in the water right now after 2 weeks of nonstop stuff. And hey, I'm a Jersey boy, okay? I grew up in New Jersey, northern Bergen County, okay? Very close to New York City. I'm a Jersey boy, okay? I know that attitude. And Jersey people are seeing this. They're not going to take any bull, okay? They're not going to wait for the government to come help them. They're going to get to the bottom of this. And I put, and for some reason, it's a lot of Jersey activity. And that's awesome because I still live right next door. Okay, I'm just across the river here. So I'll go wherever somebody wants me to come out. I'll go. But and again, I just want to put that out there, especially as a Christian, as a pastor. If you want me to come to your group or church to talk about UFO stuff, I am happy to do it. You got to tell me where to be and pay my expenses, and I'll go. But you got to reach out. Anyway, so my jersey's coming out. When we're talking about airspace being violated over nuclear storage sites with a Picatinny arsenal, where they at least used to have chemical, biological weapons, and maybe other things, and airports and Air Force bases and all these things between the United Kingdom and America over the past 2 weeks. All these places have been drone swarmed. And not only that, though, they're flying over regular people's houses. And I'm putting it out there. If you come to any drone operator out there, whether you're human or not, if you operate a drone and hover it over my house, I will protect my airspace by force. Okay? I just want it out there. Don't hover over my house. Unless you want an incident. And I'm not joking. Anyway, that's the Jersey coming out. But I think you're smart to do that. I think your government is either being extremely foolish or, well, they definitely think we're all morons. if anything's flying over civilian areas and our sensitive sites, nuclear sites, is this new thing? No, it's not. Did this just start 2 weeks ago? No, it did not. Did it start just a year ago at Langley? No, it did not. It's been happening for years at Langley. Unidentified mystery drones. Boy, those Chinese have really got to jump on us. That's a joke. They don't. Anyway, I as an American, why aren't we shooting at you? I don't care what you are. If you're a Cessna plane, well, God knows what you have on board. You might have anthrax in your hull, or going to sprinkle, Agent Orange, or I don't know. Or you have a bomb on board, or you have a nuclear weapon on there. I don't know. So the default is you could be a threat, so I'm going to shoot you down. It's just like I said when we went on, what was that? Yesterday or day before? Wednesday night. We did like an impromptu live stream about this drone stuff. And like it's just like, well, I'm taking a really long time to answer. It's just like in the you're traveling in the airports, right? Or your train station or whatever, and you're told very clearly, do not leave your bag unattended. Why not? Because it's a threat. It's a potential bomb in that bag. Or God knows what else. So you assume the worst. You don't assume nothing is going to happen because it's just a bag. It's just sat there. Look, I got 4 bags lined up here with nobody at them. They're not doing anything. They're not blowing up right this second. So apparently they're fine. That's what you're being told. That's how stupid they think you are. So either they are operating in a completely different world where they know a lot more than they're saying, or they are completely clueless and powerless. I don't want the Pentagon's latest, the spokesman, God bless him, he's trying, but he's really failing. He's just doing his job. He's doing what he's told, which is lie. He's being told to tell lies. That right now, after all this time, after all these years and years, and weeks of incursions, we're going to get a group of experts together. So subject matter experts to find out what the best way forward is. Some crap like that. Are you joking me? That's the almighty United States government. That's your military. We're going to get a working group we're going to sit around and talk about while they're actually going over your house. And don't tell me about the laws of this or that. If I don't know, if some other country, and they're from another country and they're going to come attack, oh, you can't shoot at them because they're over a residential neighborhood? Yes, you can. Please do so. Please do so. And by the way, we have a lot of weapons that probably most Americans have no clue about, like non-kinetic. In other words, energy weapons, directed energy weapons. Especially with drones, we have lots of systems, weapons, basically electronic weapons that disable drones, that will turn them off, that will make them land, that will return them to sender. That's what happens if it was a drone, not what we're seeing. That's why I'm very confident when I say the legitimate weird ones that are out there, don't ascribe them to any country, including yours. Including America. So anyway, my theory is somebody's showing off. Somebody's flexing, which is my opinion. Every time you have a UFO over a nuclear site or an armed forces base or some sensitive location, They're flexing. They're trying to show superiority, whoever they are. Okay, that's my answer. Look, sorry, I'm scrolling through sightings in New York today. Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? We could get that. That could be a holiday next year. Paintball. Yeah, or something. Somebody's going to hear. Look, somebody's going to actually defend their property one of these days. Bondservant, you know I love you. How do you get to that? I don't know. I don't know that. It might be just, I wouldn't overthink any of this. And I know I'm talking about UFOs and whatever, but even if that's the case, probably they're just, the best explanation from what we know now, or we can understand, or what we can see, is that it seems like we don't know how they're coming or going, so that getting through whatever, I don't know. They could just be going to the ocean. No Stargate needed at all, right? That's very possible. Oh, she's joking. Well, now that I'm on it, let me finish the thought, I guess. The point is, I think it seems like what you're witnessing is the governments of the world not responding on purpose. But I also like the Stargate movie. Excellent film. Yeah, I think you just now even that produces two branches of possibility, which is, okay, we're not doing anything on purpose. Either it's because we already know it won't work and we're afraid to do it, or we've got nothing to do. We've got, like Lou Elizondo would say, with the U-2 spy plane over Russia. This is the point of him telling that story, by the way. If you heard him tell we were flying U-2s over the Soviet Union, but they wouldn't admit they were there until they shot one down. So that they wouldn't admit that there was a problem until we could solve it. So what you may be witnessing is, for 80 years or whatever, the United States and any other government, Russia and China, we've been told that they have their own UFO reverse engineering programs to figure them out. And apparently to figure them out is not only to get other weapons for yourself, which is just so sad and evil, but to defend against the others, not other humans, the ones who created the stuff you obtained. And until we figure out how to defeat them, or how to injure them, or how to shoot them down, we won't be shooting them down. In fact, we won't even be admitting they're real. That would be very parallel. That would be parallel to what the Soviets did in the 1960s with the U-2 planes. They knew they were there secretly, but they wouldn't tell the population. They wouldn't tell the world. They wouldn't admit it, because that would mean our security is breached, and we can't do what we're supposed to do. We can't defend you right now because we don't have the weapons, the countermeasures. But then once they did get the countermeasures and they created a missile or anti-spy plane missile, because those planes are in orbit practically, they're so high. Once they got a system that could do it, then they admitted it. That's probably where we're at. Or that's one branch. Other possibility is we have a deal. We have a contract. We have an agreement, an understanding with whoever these guys are who are making the UFOs and who are piloting them or controlling them. We have a deal with them. We will not shoot your stuff if you don't. Well, I don't know what the other end of that bargain is, but that would be the other. Either we know what they are and we're agreed not to shoot, or it's because we can't counter them effectively. I think that's why we're seeing the reaction that we're seeing. I think that's the best answer. All right, guys. Who else has a question? Enough of these ladies monopolizing. Where's the dudes out here? Come on, dudes. Otherwise, we're ending this session. Maybe the Bermuda Triangle anomaly is real. It's over the ocean down there. Yes, I went through it. I was privileged to do that and survive. I did read these drones are coming from the direction of the ocean. Well, we don't know other than there's some evidence that the New Jersey shore, people are on the shore, what we call the shore, the coastline, have seen them over the ocean coming from that direction. And so that may be the very simplest origin explanation. And by the way, again, this just boggles your mind. Why? How is it possible that we have all the assets? We have the satellites, we have planes, we have ships, we have navies, we have coast guards. We would very, very easily track where they're going. It would be no problem. It's no problem. You don't lose them in the dark. Okay. We have night vision. Okay. You can shoot people in the dark in America. Okay. It's not a problem to see a drone with lights on. Even if they don't have lights on, they leave signatures. They have electronic signatures. They have heat signatures. You can see them on RF or whatever. Like, there's no reason at all why you can't track them other than we're afraid to track them, or they're technologically superior to every single measure we have. And that's why we're not. Oh. I asked about Syria. Oops, sorry. I'll get to that right now. Here we go. What are your thoughts on the rebels taking over Syria and Iran's silence? I think it's demonstrating Iran's ineptitude. Or maybe they want to do something about it, but they can't. Same with Israel. I mean, like, they might be annoyed at Israel all day long and shoot a bunch of missiles, but nothing happens. I mean, even if you shoot 100, nothing will get through. What's the point? They need something else. And I'm concerned, as I've mentioned a few times, not too many, that these issues are related. The Iranian invasion, which might be, if it's not imminent, it's close. That issue might be related to this UFO issue, in that really the only main detail we have of when Iran invades its neighbors, not Israel, but Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Turkey. When it does that, it does so with some kind of weapon called a great sword that is so overwhelming and overpowering that no one can fight back, or no one does fight back. So something is different about that. I don't think that can be explained. The more I think about it over the years, the less I can agree with it. It's a nuclear weapon. It seems to be way more than that, or more effective. So yeah, it seems like just with the ISIS time, this might be the conclusion of that. I mean, call them what you want. I don't care. Jihadists or jihadists. They all want the caliphate. I don't think Iran can do anything. And it looks like the Assad family, which has been in control of that country for how many? Not only this Assad, but his dad before him since what? Since the 70s, right? They've had a military dictatorship, family style, royalty. Looks like it's about to fall. And or if he could defend any territory, it'll be the tiny sliver by the ocean. By the Mediterranean. And everything else will be who knows what. Iran wouldn't be happy because they not only support, but they're religious. They're one of the only like semi-similar religious beliefs. Not just Muslims, but Shia Muslims. And so, yes, they're between Syria and Yemen and Iraq, they want proper governments there to agree with their version of Islam. And this one might be leaving. Looks like it's going to. That's my sense. Is that Assad himself apparently is in Russia, which should tell you a lot right there. He's not in Iran. He went to Russia to hide out with his family, and he probably will never return. Do you have night vision goggles or something? If you do go there, see what you find. You mean Syria or the Jersey Shore? One's a lot easier. I don't have night vision anything. Feel free to send me some, y'all. They're like $200 now. Something is thinking about this keeps the sudden rebel attack took everyone by surprise. Well, same thing with ISIS. That was sudden. No one saw it coming. Iran's having a hard time getting arms to Hezbollah and Hamas. Yeah, they'll be totally shut off. The spigot will be turned off. And Iran will say, well, that stinks. Hezbollah and Hamas are the ones in trouble in that case, not Iran. Iran is just going to take care of themselves in that scenario, right? Erdogan claims control over what's going on. I mean, I saw that he's potentially claiming not control, but taking credit, right? Taking credit for it because I talked to Assad and he didn't want to work it out with me, so this is what happens. Very Trumpish, if you ask me. So he didn't really do much other than kill some Kurds, which is all he really wants, and expand Turkey little by little by little, not the old school way, but little teeny bits and pieces over years. That's what we've been seeing with Erdogan. So listen up, Joyzy boy. That's me. On server and I will monopolize whatever conversation we feel like monopolizing. Well, you did. You just did. Because all y'all rest of y'all are cowards or something. Come on, man. Chime in. It doesn't have to be about Syria, the Bible, drones, UFO, nothing. Whatever you feel like. If not, we're out. Been on for 49 minutes now, so time's coming to a close. Ask up. If you're a new asker of a question, if you're a new participant in these Q&A times with the pastor, then you get a book for free. Don't you want that? You might not want it. That's fine. It's up to you. I'm just looking right now, which is pretty cool, and maybe to me only, maybe probably to you, T-Rex as well. 1966, the Wanacue Reservoir UAP flap occurred in northern New Jersey. That Wanacue Reservoir was about 10 miles from where I was born and raised. Actually, it's very close to where I was born. and my first home, the first 2 years of my life, was right there. That was 1970, in the late 70s when I'm talking about. But this was 1966, the Wanakee Reservoir UAP flat, northern New Jersey. My wife also grew up in that area. I have many clippings about this event. It was big. I have family members who witnessed UAPs over various areas of New Jersey, some military. That's how I knew the phenomenon was real. That's Richard Geldrich, who's one of the guys. If you care about this, about actual information, about using a more scientific mind and not just that, but cutting through the BS of narratives and how the government is addressing and how media addresses this, he's really, really great. Rich Gel 999, RICHGEL 999, free commercial for Richard. Fellow Jersey boy, so I got a shout out. So that point is that happened before. And he actually just said something else, which may be true or may not be, because it's analysis. It's not. It's subjective. It's easy to predict what's happening if you've been watching the Ukraine war, the Orange Shink deployment, and the UAP situation. What's the Orange Shink deployment? Is that they're Russian putting nuclear weapons closer to Ukraine or something? This flap will likely die down if they stop moving around strategic assets and de-escalate the Ukraine war situation, which has spiraled to near World War III. That's what Richard says. Maybe. And here, just some free advice. It's people thinking this is a big hard, how do you de-escalate the Ukraine war? It's the easiest answer in the universe. Russia, go home. Russia, go home. Leave. The war will be over today. You won't be threatened. You won't be invaded. You won't be attacked. NATO won't do anything to you. Get out. Go home. Leave these territories, including the ones you annexed last year or 2 years ago. All of it. Leave. Crimea, leave. Then it's over. There will be no World War III. Not over Ukraine. If you go home. The fact is that they won't. Tells you who the bad guys are, okay? All right. Anyway, let's talk of Jupiter here. Jupiter is very big and bright right now. I saw that on my on the cruise ship. It was the brightest thing in the sky. Pretty cool. Russia started it. I don't think they can end it due to pride. Well, that's pretty powerful pride. The point is they're not serious. And even Americans or Westerners who want to de-escalate or make a deal or cut, de-escalate the risk and negotiate. Every bit of that is bull. If they all are wrong as can be, none of that is going to happen. Dictators take what they want and cut deals, to obtain more than they had before they started, and then get more later. That's Putin's pattern for 15 years straight now. Y'all don't know your history, right? Because we don't usually. And this is the end of this. Unless someone wants to ask some more stuff, apparently you're not willing. I'm sorry. Try to be welcoming here. Ukraine signed a deal back when they became an independent country after the Soviet Union broke up. Because of the proximity of Ukraine to NATO in World War II, the Russians had many nuclear weapons, not just the nuclear power plant like we all know in Chernobyl, but a bunch of nukes in Ukraine to the point where I believe they were the third largest nuclear power on Earth. Ukraine was. Well, Russia can't have that. We've got to get the nukes out of Ukraine. So Ukraine agreed. All right. We'll give up all the nukes that the Russians we did as the Soviet Union. We'll give them all back. We'll have nothing. In fact, we'll have no real defense at all. So we're going to ask you, NATO and the United States, to guarantee that Russia will never invade us, to help us if that were to happen. Well, we didn't help them. We went back on our word. We did nothing. We sat around. We gave them pictures, I guess, intel. Yeah, they're going to invade. You better watch out, right? Like, wait a minute, you're supposed to stop this. Anyway, that's why we're in the mess we're in. Okay, that's it, guys. I'm out of here. No other questions. I'm gone. Have an awesome weekend. Yes, be in prayer. Be in prayer for this church. If you can make it Monday night, that's our normal service time. This is not the church normally. This is just a time where we open it up to the world to quiz the pastor on anything that I've ever said or we've ever done or any topic ever. I think that's pretty neat and different. But we do our Monday night services every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. You don't have to be there live, but it's cool if you are. And again, get the app, Endtime.App, and please support this church. I really don't know how. I give it to the Lord. That's what I'm going to do. And so I asked you to ask him how much to give on a monthly basis would be great. But please do so now because we need it. All right, Endtime.Church/support. And till next time, which prayerfully is Monday, let me know what we can do for you. See you on X and around town. And love y'all. Till next time. Bye.